story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there and welcome to the news of the hour with me, Sabina Izuku. The Nigerian oil workers have called off their nationwide strikes after a long-drawn meeting with government officials and representatives of some oil companies. The meeting, which began on Thursday evening in Abuja, ended at about 6 a.m. on Friday with the signing of a communique on the resolution. But before the consensus issues were trashed out, leader of the government team and supervisor minister of Labour, Kabiru Turaki, urged the two unions to always put national interests above individual concern. Basi Aye has more on the 13-hour-long negotiation.
It was a crucial meeting aimed at finding common ground on issues that led to the reappearance of fuel queues in some major cities, including Abuja. On one side of the negotiation table are the leadership of the two oil workers' union, and the other are representatives of some oil companies, as well as government negotiators. And after hours of delay, the meeting was called to order with the head of the government team urging all parties to put national interest first during deliberations.
As leaders, that our primary responsibility is to ensure that whatever is done responsibly. We can achieve whatever we want to achieve for ourselves, our organizations, indeed our teaming followers, without necessarily overheating the polity.
A few hours into the closed-door discussions, the meeting broke off into several groups, giving the impression that there were already disagreements. They, however, later reconvened into the night, with the session winding down about 13 hours later on Friday morning. The contentious issues relate to disputes between oil workers and their employers, but the unions also listed non-passage of the petroleum industry bill, bad roads, and national security among their grievances. At the end, the trade disputes were resolved in favor of the oil workers and the strike was called off.
The meeting was a fruitful one. Some of the key issues were addressed. The issue of the determination of the National Officer of the Port Harcourt Zonal Council of Pengas and that had been restated back to job. It was a successful one. We hope that in the nearest future, the meeting we're going to call by next week will definitely address these issues that we step down on.
The unions, however, insist that the strike is only suspended and could be revived if the IOCs fail to keep their side of the bargain.
We have no doubt that definitely the IOC, Total E&P, will respect this agreement that has been reached, inclusive other sectors like Mobile, will also comply to the plea that was also made to them to reinstate the zonal treasurer of Nupeng. If that fails, I think that should be a big question mark for Nigerians, workers, and also the oil and gas sector.
For now, the oil workers have called off their nationwide strike, but there are no guarantees that the last has been heard on issues that led to the industrial action. Basia Ye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Away from that, the Ekiti Governorship Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja has affirmed that Governor Ayo Fayose was duly elected in the June 2015 general election. The panel ruled that the All Progressive Congress failed to prove its allegations of electoral fraud. It also rejected claims by the petitioner that the election was systematically and scientifically rigged through indelible photochronic inks that fades within minutes. We'll bring you more details in our subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, the State Governor Ayodele Fayose has reacted to his victory at the Election Petition Tribunal in Abuja. Fayose describes the victory as that of the Ekiti people while stressing that the truth has finally prevailed.
People happy. The truth has prevailed. It's just a victory for Ekiti people. In the first place, we know they don't have a case, but because Nigeria were majorly bad losers, they still want to do a window shop for people that can compromise, judges that can compromise, and upturn the wishes of our people. But the story today gladdens our hearts. We're happy. We thank God for the victory.
What's the message?
This victory is for the people of Ekiti. Has affirmed the supremacy that power belongs to the people.
What's the message to the Nigerian judiciary?
Well, you see, if it goes your way, whatever you say, they will say it's because it goes your way. If it doesn't go your way, they will say it's because the matter is not in your favor. So for me, as a leader in Nigeria, we should allow and respect the wishes of our people. That's what is important. My election is a watershed in Nigeria. It's historic. It's different from all elections in this country. And we should all appreciate God for what God has done. For me, I thank Ekiti people particularly, and I thank God.
Ahead of 2015 general elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission has shifted the deadline for the submission of political parties' candidates' lists for governorship and State House of Assembly elections for December 25th to December 26, 2014. The Commission has, however, declined to comment on the number of political parties which have submitted or yet to submit the list bearing the names of their presidential and National Assembly candidates. The Chief Press Secretary to the INEC chairman stated this during an interview with journalists in his office on Thursday evening in Abuja. He said the Commission shifted the date because it falls on Christmas Day. The Commission, however, hinted that there was no extension for the December 18 deadline set for the submission of forms for presidential and National Assembly candidates, but there will be no submission opportunity for any political party that fails to submit by the set deadline, which was 8 p.m. of December 18, 2014. He said initially the Commission intended to close the submission by 6 p.m. on Thursday, but some of the political parties pleaded that it be moved to 12 midnight. It also says that whatever name submitted for governorship and State House of Assembly election on December 26, 2014 should be officially published on January 1, 2015. He added that there was a constitutional provision for the withdrawal of candidates, adding that the person who is nominated to INEC has to write and sign that he or she is withdrawing from this race. When he or she does that, the party can bring another name within the stipulated time. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atahiru Jega, has called for the deployment of unarmed security personnel during the 2015 general elections across the country. He says the commission has enjoyed a remarkable increase in the area of electoral policing during the last governorship election in some states. Jega is also keen on reassuring Nigerians that discussions are ongoing on measures to be adopted for internally displaced persons on the northeast to cast their votes. INEC chairman was speaking at a pre-election program organized by the police in Abuja.
The 2015 general elections, I assure you all, will be one of the most peacefully conducted national elections witnessed in Nigeria. All Nigerians and indeed the international community at large are interested in seeing that these elections are not only safe and secure, but are also free, fair, and credible. We need the understanding and full cooperation of all stakeholders to make this a reality. The task of providing adequate security during the electoral process is one of the most daunting challenges confronting security agencies today. The Nigeria Police Force, being a lead agency, will, with the cooperation and assistance of sister agencies, do everything that can be possibly done to secure the electoral officers, escort electoral materials, protect electoral venues, and the electorate among other roles of ensuring the success of the whole electoral process.
We cannot afford to slide back. We must have to keep improving in order to ensure that the 2015 general elections are much, much better than the 2011 general elections. Security agencies, not just the police, but all security agencies, have primary roles and responsibilities in ensuring free, fair, and peaceful elections. What you do, what you help us do, will determine what we are able to do in those areas that have serious security challenges. And we need to keep on working together. Right now, the key question that is on everybody's mind is, what do you do with IDPs, the internally displaced persons, particularly in the 3 states under emergency? Or indeed, how can you conduct elections safely and securely in these 3 emergency states?
The Independent National Electoral Commission has set up a 10-member task force to pave way for the participation of internally displaced persons in the 2015 general elections. INEC spokesman Kayode Idowu said in a statement that the team, which is headed by National Commissioner Thelma Iremiren, is to examine the obstacles before displaced persons in the run-up to the elections. Resident electoral commissioners of Borno, Yobe and Adamawa states are also in the talks team, which has 7 days from December 22nd to turn in its report. The Grand Alliance APGA has adopted President Goodluck Jonathan as its presidential candidate for the 2015 general elections. The motion was moved by the Deputy Governor of Anambra State, Inke Mukeke, and seconded by Chairman of APGA in Bauchi State, Adamu Musa, at the convention in Oka in Anambra State capital. The party chairman, Victor Omer, said the choice was necessitated by the need for a leader who is a binding force that would advance national unity as well as a calm president in the face of hostilities. He added that APGA was supporting Jonathan's second term in office because he pledged to implement the 600 recommendations of recently concluded national conference, which he believed could sustain the future of Nigeria. The convention also adopted 4 recommendations of its Constitution Review Committee set up earlier this year and which were inserted in the amended constitution of the party. Ahead of the 2015 presidential elections, some residents of Kaduna State are hailing the decisions of the All Progressive Congress to opt for Muhammadu Buhari as its presidential candidate. Many of them told CoreTV News that the IPC choice of the former head of state means that the People's Democratic Party needs to work harder to convince them that it has a better candidate. They, however, want the Independent National Electoral Commission to live up to the expectations of Nigerians for a free and fair process.
That has passed. Now we know we're still struggling to get it. We know something good is going to come out from this. Then if possibly wins the seat. But in as much as the ex-president, Omar Musaya Adwa, he did well in the press sector as well.
Either Jonathan wins, or Buhari wins, or any other person that is running for the presidential slot. But I can assure you that this is our country. We are not panicked, we are not scared, because we know that God, who has been seeing us through, will definitely see us through this time around. I think Buhari's emergence is good for democracy because we now have a healthy competition, so to say. Buhari had competed before, but on a different platform. This time around, I think he's having more credibility based on those that are around him this time around. So, of course, you cannot wave aside the power of incumbency. You cannot wave aside the power of PDP. All of us, we know what it means to be a PDP flag bearer.
We'll take a short break, and when we return, CoreTV News on the Hour continues. To stay with us.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce someone special here tonight whose understanding, knowledge, and support has truly made our juice company prosper.
I wonder what goes into making this.
You'd be amazed. It often starts from the farm, where fresh fruits are grown and carefully sorted, and straight on to the factory, where they are pressed, processed, and packaged. Then off they go again, this time to large distributors like you, and retail shops, where people buy and pay with ease.
You seem to know quite a lot about this. You work for the juice company then?
I suppose I do.
Please join me in welcoming our business banking service partner, Stanbic IBTC Bank, to partnerships that move us forward. Stanbic IBTC Bank, moving forward.
Welcome back to the news. For more information, you can reach us on our social media platform on facebook.com/CoreTV News, and on Twitter at CoreTV News NG, on our YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space and the news. The All Progressive Congress has named Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi as the Director General of his presidential campaign, a day after it announced Professor Yemi Osinbajo as its vice presidential candidate. The APC spokesman, Lai Mohammed, revealed this in a statement issued in Lagos. The party said it opted for Governor Amechi because of his outstanding reputation as a man of courage and principle, as well as his administrative powers and organizational skills. APC also thanks Nigerians for the support towards the success of his convention, the emergence of Buhari as the APC presidential candidate, and the choice of Professor Osinbajo as his running mate. The party is convinced that it had lived to its promise to ensure that the choice of its presidential running mate will be made within the context of the best democratic ideals. And away from that, the leadership of the Lagos PDP has described the action and allegations made by one of the losers at the party's recent governorship primary in the state, Musiliu Obanikoro, as anti-party and uncalled for, especially coming from a member who has benefited immensely from the party. The chairman of the party in Lagos, Tunde Shele, says the party wanted a credible candidate that could favorably contest and win the 2015 governorship election, and PDP has seen that in Jimmy Agbaje. Omotayolo has the details.
The governorship primary of the People's Democratic Party has not ceased to generate issues, especially following the recent suit filed by defeated aspirants Musiliu Obanikoro, who accused the party of irregularities at the election and called for a rerun. The Lagos PDP chairman, Tunde Shele, described the accusation by Obanikoro as belated and unfounded, adding that the accuser has not exhibited enough credibility.
We once had ad hoc delegate elections. A form was supposed to be sent to Lagos from Abuja to collate the results. To the best of our knowledge, he manipulated the process. They didn't bring the real result sheets to Lagos. They brought a fake one and kept the original for him to fill in his own delegates, most of them miscreants. We discovered it, raised an alarm, and that exercise was cancelled. That's why we had to do another ad hoc delegate primary congress.
For his part, the deputy chairman of the party in Lagos, Ola Akpeno, says the election Obanikoro is making so much noise about was conducted in the freest and fairest manner and see no reason why it is so hard for him to accept defeat.
It was at a stage, probably when somebody realizes that somebody else's votes is getting, more. That is where the problem starts. The bottom line is that most of us are bad losers. Whatever process that is put in place is only credible when we win. So we have stated our own part of the issue, but now I learned somebody has gone to court.
The Lagos PDP chairman also stamped Agbaje as the party's choice for the governorship poll ahead 2015 and vows it would be giving all the necessary support.
And we want a credible candidate. And in Jimmy Agbaje, we have found a credible, sellable, and competent candidate who can win Lagos election.
Meanwhile, all the stalwarts of the party have also enjoined Obanikoro to accept defeat and refocus his energy on pro-party activities. Omotayo, CoreTV News, Lagos.
President Goodluck Jonathan has pledged to put an end to unhealthy rivalries among the healthcare professionals after receiving the report of the Presidential Committee of Experts on Interprofessional Relationships in the Public Health Sector. He also assured members of the committee headed by the former head of service, Yahya Ahmed, that the federal government will take steps to ensure its implementation. The committee revealed that it identified 50 areas of conflict in the course of its interactions with about 40 professional bodies in the public health sector and members of the public.
When you come to in terms of practice in the medical profession, especially government-owned medical institutions, you have conflicts. Privately owned medical institutions, you hardly have conflicts. So what is causing these conflicts? I really feel a bit bad. The number of strikes and strikes and strikes and strikes by the medical profession, threatening strikes for even issues that could be negotiated. I believe this report will help us to resolve this, and that's why we want to quickly handle it.
In carrying out our assignment, we made concerted efforts to seek an understanding of the reasons behind the failure of all categories of public health workers to manage their relationship within the last 1 decade or so, and the consequences of such failures, which had negatively impacted on the quality of healthcare delivery in our country. Furthermore, we enlisted the support of many Nigerians with experience and expertise, as well as those who played vital roles in the management of public health affairs to make contributions on how the public health sector could regain its prominent role as the fulcrum of public health care delivery.
The Central Bank of Nigeria is releasing the commemorative 100 Naira notes recently unveiled by President Goodluck Jonathan into circulation with effect from today. This is contained in a statement signed by the head Corporate Communications Ibrahim Muazu in Abuja. The CBN has consequently directed all its branches to issue the currency from their respective locations. It, however, says the commemorative note will circulate alongside the existing 100 Naira note. And away from that, the Nigerian authorities have warned the public on plans by Boko Haram insurgents to carry out major attacks on soft targets during the festive season. Coordinator of the National Information Center, Michael Mary, says that the intelligence report shows that the targets include bus terminals, motor parks, places of worship, as well as recreational centers. Omeri, who is also the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, however, assures Nigerians that security agencies have been directed to increase surveillance across the country. He also warns the citizenry to be vigilant and cooperate with security forces to ensure a hitch-free Yuletide.
The year 2014 gradually comes to an end. Nigerians have been advised to be very security conscious, especially during the end of the year festivities. Already, security agencies have been intimated of plans by insurgents to carry out major attacks against soft targets during this period. These targets include motor parks, churches, schools, mosques, recreational centers such as amusement parks and viewing centers, among others. The aim is to exploit the festive period with the attendant mass gatherings for religious programs, school end-of-year parties and activities, including family picnics, to cause large-scale destruction of lives and property.
And that wraps up the news at 7. Don't forget to keep a date with us at 9:45 p.m. for Primetime News. I am Sabena Izoku, and from me on the news crew, we say many thanks.